In the previous clipping, we looked at the causes responsible for the outbreak of the revolution. Now let's see the outbreak of the revolution, that is the events of the revolution. How did it occur and what led to its occurrence? You see, in the previous clipping, the people had already started rumoring that Louis XVI wanted to increase the taxes on the third estate, and that seemed to be a true news, because Louis XVI in fact wanted to increase the taxes on the third estate. But at that time, the emperor alone did not have the power to increase taxes whenever he wanted to. He had to take the approval of the Estate General. Estate General was in fact a representation of all the three estates or of all the three categories of society which were there in France at that time. And the last time the Estate General had been called was in the year 1614. So he had made up his mind to increase the taxes because it was not possible for him to sustain otherwise. That is why he called the meeting of the Estate General on 5th May 1789 in a grand hall at Versailles. In this meeting, the members of the first and the second estate, who were 600 in number, as all the three estates had 300 each, sat in the rows, and the third estate, that is the members of the third estate, the 300 of them actually stood at the back of these rows. The peasants, artisans, women were denied entry into the Estate General. Now, earlier the method of voting was such that each estate collectively had one vote, that is 3 votes in all, and every time it was 2 versus against 1, that is the first 2 estate versus against the third estate. So here also Louis XVI wanted to have the same kind of voting, but the third estate had become knowledgeable, that is people which comprise of merchants, artisans, teachers, philosophers who were knowledgeable, protested against this system, and they said that each member should have 1 vote each, so that the number is counted as to how many stand against or in favor of the proposal. But Louis XVI was adamant, and therefore the third estate walked out of the hall, and after that they gathered together on 20th June at an indoor tennis court in Versailles, and they decided, they took an oath that they shall not disperse from there until they had drafted a constitution for France, which would be welfare, which would have welfare of people in nation, and everybody would be equal. This tennis court meeting which was going on, or rather the meeting of the third estate, was actually headed by Mirabeau and Abysses. Mirabeau belonged to the noble class, that is the second estate, and the Abysses was a priest who belonged to the first estate. But since they too felt the same concern for the third estate, so they participated in this meeting. Abysses, he was of, as I said, he belonged to the priestly class, and he wrote a famous book named What is the Third Estate? So here what has happened is, for the first time the third estate has actually protested against anything and have picked up the courage of revolting, and they have decided to change the government. I will continue with it in the next clipping. While the National Assembly was busy drafting the Constitution of France, The rest of France was in a state of turmoil. They had been a bad harvest due to severe winter, and the people did not have much to eat, and they were living under terrible conditions. To add to their trouble, the king ordered the troops to move in Paris. The people were hungry, the people were unhappy, and when this happened, they actually led to an outbreak of something bigger, and that was on 14th July 1789. There was an incident of which we describe in history as the storming of Bastille. That is, the people attacked the fort of Bastille because this fort stood for the despotic power of the king, and they wanted to destroy this fort to show that now they wanted to destroy the powers of the monarch. That's the storming of the Bastille. As I said, it was a fortress prison where the prisoners were kept. Of course, not many prisoners were found when the people stormed and attacked this fort, and the number, whichever it was, very few were released from there. In the countryside of France, again, a rumor spread that the manor, that is the landlord, had hired brigands, and these brigands would destroy the standing crops of the peasants. This again made them very angry, and they started attacking the chateau, that is the castles of the manor, and destroyed everything that was found in the chateau, and even the records of the manorial dues were actually burnt by them. So, the state in France was that of a turmoil, confusion, which was becoming confounded by the rumors which kept on spreading every day. Louis XVI, when he understood that the position in France had gone out of his hands, he decided and he said that from now onwards the powers of the emperor would be checked by the constitution. This was the first step towards constitutional monarchy. That is a monarchy which would now be governed by the constitution. On 4th August 1789, all the privileges of the first and the second estate were abolished. All the taxes which were paid to the church were now abolished, and all the land which had been confiscated by the church were given to the state, and by this there actually occurred a big relief to the French government. This all is showing that the people have become strong enough to fight against the injustice, and they've started openly questioning and revolting against the atrocities of the emperor, the first estate and the second estate. All this was leading towards a society which was not based on privileges but was based on equality and fraternity. The National Assembly drafted the Constitution in 1791, and by this the France became a constitutional monarchy wherein the powers of the emperor were limited. Now few people even got the right to vote, of course, and the right to be elected, but not everybody enjoyed this privilege. Men above 25 years of age and those who paid 3 days of labor wage as taxes got this privilege of voting. And to get elected in the National Assembly, you had actually to belong to the highest tax bracket. Here, The constitution actually began with the declaration of the rights of man and citizen. Remember, declaration of man and citizen. The women and other citizens, other men who did not pay taxes were kept as passive citizens. That is, they did not have the right to vote and to get elected. So, the declaration of the rights of man and citizen was definitely a step forward towards giving powers to the people, but still there was a long way to go. It had to be the declaration of rights of human beings and citizen in order to have a clear cut democratic government. Therefore, in this protest, there were few women who actually wrote the Declaration of the Rights of Women and Citizen, and Olympic de Gouges is the name of such a woman. In fact, but still we have to understand that step by step they are moving out of the monarchical rule and are moving towards democracy. And I continue with it in the next clipping.